Yeah. Testing, okay. There we go, a couple false starts. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from the Eden Prairie Community Center. We're in our final day of regular season coverage. High school hockey action here from the Community Center. The Eagles of Eden Prairie and the Trojans of Wayzata. And what's a pretty big matchup here to close out the season for them. This is our second of a triple header that we've done for you today. We opened it up with the Dynamites at the Tria rink as they took on the Detroit Ice Dreams. Right here it's Eden Prairie and Wayzata. And then we're going to close out with what is always an epic matchup featuring the Dyna Hornets and the Minnetonka Skippers. But the business at hand here, the Eden Prairie Eagles, Wayzata Trojans, positioning for sectional seedings. Anything can happen with those things, and I'm not even going to get into the prediction. We're just going to wait for the results to come out. But for the Trojans, with a 2-1 win over the Eden Prairie Eagles, come up real big there. Bart Archer, that a couple of weeks ago in their last meeting. Couple of goals by Dylan Lewis and Drew Streeter in the second period stood up as the game winners there as they go on to win 2-1. Eden Prairie, though, we saw play absolutely lights out against the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights and just gave them no chance in that hockey game.
No, in fact, they played a very sound game for a solid 51 minutes. Very difficult to contain on that first line, but it was the second, third, and fourth lines that really came into play as well. But this one promises to be a really good game. Both teams want to play their best game going into sections, and this wraps up the late conference. So both teams are going to be very inspired today and very focused. It should be a great game.
You know, interestingly enough for the Trojans, they start the season 0-3, and since then they've been 14-5-2. In their last 10, they enter this one at 6-3-1, 2-2-1 though in their last 5, including winless in their last 2, a 7-6 loss to St. Cloud Cathedral, and then the 1-1 tie with Edina just the other day on Thursday. We'll pause now for your national anthem, and we'll face this thing off in a matter of minutes. All right, the pageantry and the pregame festivities have been completed, Bart Archer, and we're ready to get this thing started. One thing to note, out of the lineup for the Eden Prairie Eagles today will be number 17, Jake Luloff, out with a concussion, so he's going through protocol right now. And inserted into the lineup for the Eden Prairie Eagles at his slot was Tyler Johnson. Lines would be the same for them as they took on the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights, the big one with John Middlestead, Ben Steves, and of course you can't forget about Jackson Blake. Boy, that kid's dynamic, no question asked about that. Then the next line, which featured Riku Brown along with Drew Holt and Batchelder as well. Very, very good. Carter Batchelder, of course, on the left wing. His game has opened up 5 notches since that United line has come together.
No, I think so. Riku Brown certainly capable of manning that center position, but I think he kind of took the handcuffs off off of Batchelder a little bit, putting him on the wing. You don't have as many defensive responsibilities. He's really been putting the puck in the net. I think that's going to be the most formidable line for the Eden Prairie Eagles. The focus is going to go on the Middlestad line as far as Wayzata, but they're certainly deep enough, and they play a defensive style well enough to where they can contain this Eagle team, but they have to keep the shots on goal down and manage the neutral zone and protect their blue line. Wayzata's got their hands full, but they're certainly capable of pulling a win out of the community center.
No question. Wayzata now enters this game 14-8-2. The Eagles at 18-5-1, looking for win number 19 here tonight against the Wayzata Trojans as they'll play this one over to the left wing side. There's Mortensen to center. Now it's going to be picked up by Lutke, and that's sent back in as Busby will retreat into his own zone. He has Kai Stansberry on the back line with him. Stansberry's been moved up and down the lineup as a forward and a D. Here's Steves. He's got a stick into him from Mortensen. Steves stays on it. Now it's the Trojans to center. Busby now with Langfels. Or check that Langenbrunner with him. And now it's going to be on the near side for Davidson as he's across the line. He's stopped on the play. He's going to ring that back in behind and around. On the stick of Lewis as he's bothered by Langenbrunner. Riku Brown is in. Now it's going to be bumped off the boards by Peters. And it's going to be on the stick of Lewis back in behind the net. Busby comes away with it as he's going to look back up to the left wing. That hits traffic at the line, and it's gathered in. Nice little move there by Sauer, but the Eagles poke to center. On the stick now of Ness as he's going to play that one back in behind the Eden Prairie net. Busby is there. He'll play this around to the right wing side. Holt will watch that, bounce to the slot area. Carter Batchelder over for Holt across the line with speed. On entry, Batchelder tries to feed that one through, turned back up ice by Schneider. Here's Schneider in across the line as he's watched by Langfeld. Stick save, turned to the near corner by the senior Axel Rosenlund on senior day here for the Eagles. Back in behind the net. Nice stick there by O'Connell to keep it alive to the near side for Ness. He winds and shoots. That one's deflected wide of the mark. Holt with the carom. He's going to have to hurry as there's a stick that comes in for O'Connell. Nice positioning there. Ness now across the line, gains territory, now gives off for Lewis, cuts back. Oh, and that one goes off the blocker pad and the netting. Great opportunity there by the Trojans. They've had a nice jump here to start this hockey game.
Well, indeed they have. They have good focus, good energy. They're jumping the roots and taking the space away from this Eden Prairie team. I don't think Eden Prairie's really come over the red line but once, but a good pressure by Eden Prairie. It was a nice offering by Lewis on that one. He just cut toward the middle and put a good shot on Rosenlund, ramped up and out of play by Eden Prairie. So face off to Rosenlund's left. Good pace so far by
Indeed.
This Wayzata team.
You know, I got to give the Eden Prairie Eagles credit here on the senior day. They do it very classy. They recognize the kids, but it's not like a wedding, and I appreciate that. I mean, some of these things have become weddings.
Yeah.
Middlestat with a shot, a redirect there by John Middlestat. That's turned aside in goal by Garrett Bonello. Up to the line, there's Langfeld's shot, steered up out of the netting in the play area there by Bonello. He's carried much of the weight here for this Wayzata Trojan team, Bart Archer.
Yeah, in fact, he's going bell to bell. He's 14-8-2 with a 2.41 goals against, a .908 save percentage with a shutout to his credit, but challenged. Didn't see any action for the first 2.5 minutes, and then he had a redirect from John Middlestat, so nice job of managing that one by the goaltender on first flush.
How close are you to saying ERA instead of goals against average?
We're getting that
Every
mindset.
time I have to think about that.
Well, probably more prominent in your thoughts than mine, but it's getting there.
When we hear the banging garbage cans behind the penalty box.
The buzzer's buzzing.
Wow, man, I can't believe it. That's off the boards.
What do you go and pick that scab for?
I just can't. You know, it's funny is it's the story that's not leaving, and it's starting to, as things are, it's an interesting sporting story about, you know, competing and trying to win and doing what you need to do.
I agree.
It's not right, but sent back in behind the net. Waggy is there, looks ahead for a long pass. That's a stick by Stansberry. Quickly bumps off the boards, and it's going to be played through again. Waggy now, it's on the stick of Lutke across the line as he's going to play to the corner. Wrestles away with Britton. Now the outlet to Batchelder at the line. He had to hurry because here came Ness to keep the line. He plays that through traffic. Back in behind the net it goes. They try to find a feed there. That's off Holt's stick. That's left back up at the line. Batchelder wins the battle there. Here he comes across 2-on-3. He'll be stopped on the play, and it's going to be handled by Carson Peters to the neutral. Now it's going to be Langenbrunner to play that one up in the air. Peters gathers, plays to the right wing for Getz. He's watched by Batchelder. Now it's Britton rink wide for Langenbrunner. That's off the stick of Brown in on goal. Nope, just wide of the mark as Bonello will watch that one trickle wide of him with 13:30 to go in the first period.
Well, I know we're early in this first period, as you said, but that neutral zone's awful muddy. Eden Prairie trying to get some rhythm through that neutral zone with possession, but always a Wayzata Trojan in their way, so very solid defensive responsibility play in the neutral zone by this Trojan team so far.
A couple of 21s in the face-off circle. Podiak for Wayzata and Brown for Eden Prairie. Back up through center, that's knocked away. Off the boards through center, that's going to be an icing call. Back into Wayzata turf we go.
Well, as Drew Getza was actually behind the defenseman Casey on that one, so I don't know if they're going to, if that was mindful where that's a plan of theirs to try to soften up the defense, pull him off the line a little bit, but that pass wasn't too bad to send him in all alone, so something Eden Prairie's going to have to be cognizant of as this game unfolds.
Middlestad in to draw, that against the Trojans Sauer. Puck poked over to the left wing boards as it's Waggy to the line. Now Blake with it in front to John Middlestad. That's deflected away. They look ahead to Luke Middlestad. His shot misses the mark. That went off the toe. Lewis plays the body. That up on Casey as Luke Middlestad regroups into his own zone. Dances over to the near boards. Middlestad finds John Middlestad across the line. Loads it up. He wanted the glove hand save. Nice look into the glove there by Bonello.
Well, indeed it was. It was a good shot. It was an offering by Middlestad, but he was being challenged by Perwaggy on that one. Forced him to get that shot off a little quicker than he wanted. We had a pretty good angle on that one, going glove side, about 3 feet off the ice, so nice job by Bonello to track that puck in, hold on to it.
We had the proverbial daylight to the glove hand side, and he saw it as well as we did from our angle, and the goaltender shut that down with a nice save.
We've seen Middlestad be very successful from that area before.
Kyle Mortensen left wing on the breakout. Keller was pinched down on, as now it's going to be played back in behind the net. Blake with it. Here's Blake in control. His pass cut off by Keller. Nice defensive play there to center ice it goes. That's knocked off some gear, chopped away at, and John Middlestad comes away with it as he dances over to the right wing side. That's off a pair of skates. Down on the play they go, and that's good at the line there as it was towed neatly there by Streeter. Back over the near boards. There's a one-timer. Ness wanted to go pull some rain down with that one. Off the glass it goes. Back up in the neutral zone. John Middlestad knocks it down with the stick. Guides it back in wide of Bonello, who's going to hang on to that one. Ness cut off by Johnson. Ness comes back away with it. Johnson and Stansberry on the forecheck. They go up the middle. Oh, they spring a man on the way through. That's O'Connell. Had to pull on the brakes there as he looked for some help. Nice save by Rosenlund, and that thing evolved. There's some fisticuffs back in behind the net. Not having any of that. It's Drew Streeter.
Well, and that's a little foreshadowing from before, getting the forward behind the defense and then hitting him with a stretch pass. Went in, he checked up, but found the trailer coming in, but Rosenlund stretched out that pad on a very challenging shot, held on to it. Little activity after the whistle, but things calmed down.
The good old extracurriculars.
Well, you got to mind your discipline, emotional discipline in games like this.
You also have to stand your ground. It's a fine line for sure.
Indeed. Riku Brown against Ben Litke.
There's a shot off a stick that goes up out of play. And off the draw again we go. In to take the draw will be Streeter once again. Or check that on my bad. Lukey will take the draw against Riku Brown. Middlestat swings it around to the near boards. Batchelder went to pinch up on that one. Instead it was guided down the wall by Lindahl. Back behind now, it's going to be Langfell's outlets to Holt. Here he comes through center ice. Holt finds Batchelder. Batchelder wanted to find a man down low. That was Brown. That was awfully close there as that was feathered beautifully. Batchelder's dangerous. There's a shot that's blocked. That's off the skates of Lindahl. And now back into the corner it goes as they'll play this one up to the near side. Gloved away. Played back on the stick now to the line and gathered in by, check that was Kimlinger. And wide of the mark it goes. Luke Middlestat, long pass ahead. That's deflected away. There's a twig on the ice in front of the bench area there, right in front of the Wayzata bench. That's now off the stick of Podiak and into the Eden Prairie zone.
Well, I'm going to marvel at the athleticism of Ben Steves on that one. He caught an edge right before the boards and they don't give a whole bunch, but he got back up and actually kind of corrected himself. Otherwise, it might have been a pretty ollie situation, but faceoff's going to come all the way down into the Wayzata zone. 10:43 left in the scoreless first period. I love the way Wayzata's playing in their own zone. Eden Prairie has been playing very good of late in finding the open man. There's not a lot of space in the offensive zone, so Wayzata still doing a great job defensively.
Face-off win. Busby controls, plays this one to the corner. And that one will be bumped off the boards. Controlled by the defense on that play. That's Waggy. That's going to be icing, and back into the Trojan zone we go.
Well, it looks like Eden Prairie starting to kind of get a little offensive rhythm. At least they're spending some time in the Wayzata zone, but that's not translating to shots on goal. So Garrett Benella's had a lot of activity in front of him, but hasn't been called upon but, one or two quality times. So Eden Prairie's got some work to do. Love the play at Tucker Ness so far. Okay.
Steves now from the corner plays that behind the net. Ness has been strong in every game we've called so far this year.
Yes, indeed.
There's a nice feed down low. Blake. Oh, he just missed the mark as he went far side on the backhand and just trickled wide.
I like that idea, though.
Terrific feed by Steves and Blake. Those two find each other at angles in the offensive zone as well as any duo I've seen here in high school hockey this year.
I agree.
Now there's Langenbrunner looking up for Steves, pinching down on the blue line with the body there is Keller. Now it's Blake, waits on it, gives back over for John Middlestad. Missed the mark there. Peters takes a swing at that one. Ness will ring it hard around the boards to the near side. O'Connell is there. O'Connell lays that one over to Ness in the left dot area. Chips a pass off the boards as this will roll into the EP zone. No ice on the play as that was steered aside by Rosenlund. Kind of a funny little roll there on him. Now Steves with it across the line. He has Brown with him. Steves, backdoor. Holt hits Brown in front. Oh, and that one deflects just wide. Very patient on the entry by the Eagles so far here tonight. We saw that against the Red Knights as well. Very confident on the puck. Tripped up on the play.
No
there
call.
is Lutke. I think he did that on his own. Maybe we can get a replay on that. Back in behind the net, there's Middlestat. Batchelder plays the body. Down low they go with Lutke again. Casey rides his man into the corner. Brown is there as he's going to try to play this one up. Casey gets his stick inside on his man. Now it's Luke Middlestat from the end boards. He's stopped. Nice forecheck turned in there by Kimlinger. Reached for and played back up to the line. Over to make the play. It's going to be Lutke again. Good shift here for the Trojans. Now it's going to be Brown. Finds Luke Middlestat. Quickly flips this one up in the air. Just missed that light. And hand claps from head coach Pat O'Leary. He loved what he saw. Let's take a look at this on replay. I think he went down on his own here, Bart Archer.
Well, we're going to hit the tail of the tape right here.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did the stick get in there?
Well, it's a no call, so we play on, but 8:19 left in this period. But you're right, a great shift by that Wayzata Trojans team. They just bottled them up and they couldn't get out of their own zone.
Sent back around to the right wing side. Peters off the boards. I'm trying to see where the hand signals are coming from here, and they're on each corner on our side, the hand signals. Fans are stacked up along the glass giving hand signals.
Okay, I gotcha.
It's just my little joke, sorry.
Okay, took me a second to catch up with you.
I don't know. I don't like watching at ice level. I've never been able to really get into that because you can't feel the flow of the game.
No, I agree. I like to see things develop. I like to be able to have a good scope of the whole ice at a particular angle. It's perfect up here.
Now, the XL Energy Center is a bit of a that's the totally opposite.
Well, I might get LASIK before I go up there.
Oh, my God. It's tough to see.
I just guess.
We'll be on the call for those games. Be sure to check us out when you're driving into the XL Energy Center. Whether you're coming to the games, looking for tickets, or going to the Let's Play Hockey Expo, we'll be on. We'll have our links for you. You can put us on in the car, as well as turn them down, turn us up. And we get a lot of that, too. So, puck played back in behind. It's a 3-day odyssey, like never experienced. Well, really 4. when you include the Class A playoffs. In front, that's Rosenlund, paddle down, makes the save. Stansberry to center, but here comes Ness just to fire that one right back in. Britton finds Langfells, who bumps the boards. That's knocked in front of the bench area there. Pergandy comes away with it. Lewis jams him. Ooh, face first into the glass. You got to feel that one. Blake now for Steves. Steves' wrister misses the mark. The big carom back to center as Langenbrunner will race this one down. Plays back to the near side for Busby. From the checkered, plays this one in off the wrister, deep into the zone. Now Blake with it, chips that down for John Middlestat. Guides that one into the corner. That's on the stick of Mortensen, who plays that over to the near boards. Here they come out of the zone with it. That's Streeter who looks ahead and icing the call with 6:39 to go here in the first.
Well, I think this Wayzata team's been all over Eden Prairie. I just look for Eden Prairie, if I see any source of frustration, because everything's been contested. What came so easy previously, now they're having to work for every piece of real estate. So far, I haven't seen any deviation from their structure whatsoever, but Wayzata really turning in a strong performance. It's 0-0 with just 6:39 left in this first period, but Eden Prairie offensive zone face-off.
Face-off win by the Trojans. Mortensen plays this around. A couple of 22s do battle for a check. That was a 23 and a 22. That was Keller and Langenbrunner. Back in behind the corner. Blake looks at the slot. Oh, Steves gathered that in. It looked like it was going elsewhere, but that was for Steves. Catches it quick. Backhand. Nice save, Bonello. He's had to make the tougher of the saves here in this first period so far, for sure.
Yeah, in fact, especially the last 5 minutes, Wayzata's had intermittently good shifts in the offensive zone, but it's really been Eden Prairie down in the offensive zone. But that's the first time that Bonello's really had to been challenged in the last 2 or 3 minutes anyway.
Glove down by Batchelder. That one's off Brown's stick. Back in behind the net. Brown is wrestled down, and that one's going to be faced off inside the zone as it goes up and out of play.
I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Wrapping up the regular season, getting ready for sections. What a great time of year, but what a nice way to finish the season, having Wayzata come into the community center to play against the Eagles in late conference action. And then tonight we have Minnetonka at Braemar Arena playing the Edina Hornets. Both of those teams have been playing pretty well of late, so it's a nice way to kind of put a bow on the regular season.
Back up to the line it goes. There's Langenbrunner with it. To those that have commented on the camera, we'll work on that. We're using different production software, and we'll take care of that at the period. Puck goes in on goal. There's Bonello with the save as that's played back through and into the Eden Prairie zone it goes, and icing the call.
Boy, that was a trying moment for Wayzata. It was Bonello that made the initial save. I think thought he had the puck corralled, but it was over to his side. So nice job of supporting their goaltender as Wayzata just clears the puck, relieve that pressure, allows Coach O'Leary and I guess Coach Smith to put some fresh legs out there, but pretty good pressure of late by Eden Prairie, and they're sustaining it as well. They're finding some room, Pete.
Holt is there. Batchelder's shot's deflected, and that's going to be gathered in by Podiak. Back up to the line for Luke Middlestad. Swung on there by Middlestad again. Now it's going to be Brown with it as he plays this across the line, looks in front, and that's going to be cut off by Mortensen. Delayed offside as the Eagles forced to touch back up. Wrapping the bench, liking it so far. Over to the left wing side, it's going to be Tomzik with it. Now Luke Middlestad's shot's deflected and sent back into the corner. Batchelder was there. Here's Holt. Shot, pad, save. Bonello. Shots are mounting here, and the scoring chances. Luke Middlestad across the line. He's checked and watched on the play by Schneider. And now it's going to be Pergandy turning and shooting. Misses the mark all the way to the neutral zone. That caroms. And now it's going to be Luke Middlestad to retreat in his own zone. He's got Langfells with him. Instead, he goes ahead to the neutral zone to Stansberry. Here's Johnson across the line. He's forced wide. Stick save Bonello. Back over to the far corner. Stansberry off the post. A big clapper there that eluded the goaltender. Pergandy now as he kicks up back over to the far boards. It's going to be Lindahl with it. Pergandy. They want the holding call. They're not going to get it. And then it's dug out of there by Lewis. Ahead they go to Lindahl across the line. He'll go Far corner on the dump in. That one through the slot area. Now it's going to be Johnson with it as he goes down. And now it's going to be played back up to the line.
That was aggressive. That's going to be Schneider. I think he's going to go for a cross check. He just got a little aggressive on that. I was going to say they're letting him play, but then he just really not really needed to do at that particular juncture, but it gives Eden Prairie, who's already starting to get some momentum and get a little offensive flow, a chance on the power play. 27.4% power play for this Eden Prairie Eagle, and a very common 85%, very impressive penalty kill for this Wayzata Trojan team. A great opportunity it is for the Eagles to draw first blood.
John Middlestat now off the face-off. Played up to the line for Luke Middlestat as he's going to hang on to it. Power play is the first of the period with 3:44 to go in it. John Middlestat down to Steves, up for Luke Middlestat. Blake, the quick shot, that's blocked. Nice play up front defensively there by the winger Lutke. Now it's picked up and sent the length of the ice by the Trojans' Kimlinger, as the Eagles will be forced to regroup back in their own zone with Steves. Middlestat takes over, leaves off for Blake as he takes the charge back up ice. Blake, there's a collision at the line between Steves and Wayzata's Jack Siemens, and that forces the offside.
Well, and Blake was going to enter the zone and go wide left, but again, Steve just snuck in a little bit over the play. I think he kind of limited by Siemens as far as what his options were, but that allows a reset, so to speak, and stops the the Eden Prairie forward momentum. Getting ahead of myself, Pete.
Thinking to the 7 o'clock start is Bart
I don't
Archer.
mean to do that. This is a good one.
Now it's Langenbrunner with it. He's watched on the play by Podiak. Holt, Podiak all over the place here on this PK. Nice job off the faceoff. Holt accelerates back out of the zone. He's going to carry. He's going to try and slice through 6D. He gets through the Ginsu, the gauntlet. Great Clint Eastwood movie. Now it's going to be Busby. Back up for Langenbrunner. Holt with it. Now Langenbrunner again. Busby looks back down to the corner. Batchelder for Langenbrunner. Back for Holt. That slapper misses the mark. Ness will ring it hard to the near boards. Holt gets over there. The right-hand shot on the off point. Plays that back down to Pergandy. Back up for Holt. Fanned on the pass to Langenbrunner. Instead forced to play that back down with 30 to go in the power play. Now Busby. Langenbrunner, a bomb as that one hit the post. That's 2 posts for the Eagles here in the first period. Puck will be cleared to the line. Glove down by Langenbrunner. Nice play there. Holt buzzes that wrister wide of the mark on the ice. Batchelder chases it down. Nice hustle. From the line now, Batchelder to the top of the right circle. Wrister blocked. Right in the way there was Mortensen. Fine play as he clears out the length of the ice. Hit a Trojan player on his way over the boards.
Well, pretty good puck movement by Eden Prairie on the power play. Just 5 seconds left to the penalty to the Trojan Schneider. But really working the puck around, but as Wayzata does, they're getting in front of the shots and really forcing him to shoot wide shots. I think Holt had 2 wide shots on that one, but that's because there wasn't any venue to get to the goaltender. But nice penalty kill by Wayzata so far, but good zone time and possession by the Eden Prairie Eagles. But just 5 seconds, as I said, to the penalty. Schneider then is back to 5-on-5.
John Middlestad slaps that one back into the zone. Back over the corner it goes. John Middlestad there, try to play that to the corner. 1:40 to go in the first. We're scoreless. Back in across the line. Streeter shot, pad save. Nice one by Rosenlund. That might have been the best chance so far for the Trojans.
Well, and he hasn't seen a shot in a while either,
and that
so
was
nice
a good
save.
Yeah, threw the left pillow out. Back in across the line, it's Streeter again. He's jammed by Langfels over to the far boards. They pin up on the wall for it. Knocked ahead up the line. Who wants it? Blake comes away with it, stays on it. Tried to sling a pass through. Oh, nifty. Oh, my word. Inside out. Look at the sophomore. Stays with it. Back door. Oh, and they had Staves in front. Luke Middlestat tried to find him. That was all created by some nifty stick work there by Jackson Blake, who kept his feet moving. He's really elusive. Back at center it goes. Trojan player goes down. And then up front there, that's O'Connell on the forecheck. But now it's going to be Langenbrunner. Under a minute to go now with 37 in the period. Langenbrunner across the line, plays that in deep. Brown will forecheck on Ness. Rides him into the corner. You know, Ness brings such a nice physical presence with purpose. It's good stuff. Back in across the line. They leave off a drop pass. Batchelder off the boards. Cut off at the line as they look up ice. Down the wall they go with Lutke. He'll find his man behind the net. Davison with it. Up the right wing boards. Brown muscles it through. Holt with it. Plays this one into the far corner. Now it's going to be Ness to come away as he rings the boards away from Brown. No, Brown gathered it in. Corralled it in front. Oh, there's a chance for Holt off the back door as time expires. Oh, what a period. Nothing after one between these two fine hockey clubs.
Well, that's why you played till the final buzzer. Eden Prairie with a pretty good opportunity as time was starting to tick down, but good period by both teams. Whenever there's 0-0 on the board, you're doing something right, but I think Eden Prairie might have evolved into the better team as that period went on, but Wayzata certainly formidable. Kind of a 60-40 game. Maybe Eden Prairie getting the better chances, but this Wayzata team came to play. It's going to be a great second period.
We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have the second period coming up for you right here at the Edmonton Hockey TV. We're going to make a couple of adjustments. You might lose us here for a second. So we're going to try and take care of that blur. We know what it is, so we'll see what we can do for you. So if it goes dark, don't give up. Come back.
You know, it's pretty easy to be proud of the fact that we've been in continuous operation for almost 120 years. Now, obviously, Ennebec Construction started that, and they're a big part of it. You know, since then, in the 20 years that Tradition's been around, we've built on to that legacy, and you know, I think we've created our own legacy and our own brand, which is pretty special and unique.
We've kind of coined the phrase between all the Tradition companies and led by the bank's Keystone program. However much money we make, we give 10% of our earnings to the community and lots of time as well.
Our business model is centered around building communities, you know, whether that's, you know, providing the dirt work or building the houses or providing the financing. We're really, our success is really part of the overall community success. The fact that we live in the communities that our customers live in as well. We're side by side with them. And really our promise to our customers would be that we reinvest back into the communities and we help make the community stronger, where if you're doing business with, out-of-state competitor, those dollars are going out of state, but we're putting them right back in the community.
We welcome you back to the Eden Prairie Community Center, where we are going through a raffle right now. We'll be starting the ZAM here pretty quick, and we're going to do something new here today. Go ahead and tweet at us at MN Hockey TV and hashtag. Include the hashtag. Tweet at us with the hashtag MN Hockey TV, and we'll be able to pull that out and put it on our ticker. If you have a message to send, if it's appropriate, we will go ahead and put it up there. So once again, start tweeting at MN Hockey TV. Give us a follow. Hashtag MN Hockey TV. Or do I want to do a different hashtag?
You can do whatever you
What should we do, Dave? That's too much MN Hockey TV. I don't like it. So let's go with how about hashtag the tourney 2020. Hashtag the tourney 2020, since it's tourney time. So put that on there for it, and then we'll be able to pull those out, aggregate those, and put those on our ticker throughout the third period. Okay, we'll step aside. We've got a guy that's a little bit of a lead foot on the ZAM, which is really helpful, so we can get this thing rolling, because we got to run over to Braemar. We're going to do the same campaign on the Twitter with the Edina and Minnetonka. Looking forward to all of that. So once again, we're 0-0 here after one. Great hockey period for us so far. Bart Archer, did you get the shots on goal, or did we not get a summary from down low yet? We do not have a summary yet. So I'll have that coming up for you at the break. More comes up right after this.
I think that being in a sport, it has built into it the concept that we are going to face a challenge. When we do sport the right way, we are teaching values. We're teaching kids how to be hard workers. We're teaching kids how to be courageous, to be fearless. Dynamites, because we have a focus on whole life youth development, physical, academic, social, and spiritual excellence, we get that we're trying to develop people to be whole people. And I think that when you combine that mission with sport, I think you naturally get that. We have programs in each of those four areas. We have ice hockey for physical excellence. Academic excellence includes academic support like one-on-one tutoring. We have a summer academic camp. Social excellence includes our big community service project, Greg Carroll Learn to Skate, and also we're faith-based. So when kids are old enough, they have the choice to go to summer camp, kind of that traditional summer church camp. Every kid in the program has multiple mentors. If they're in tutoring, they have a very special mentor that's just their very own. And then of course the hockey coaches are mentors, and of course all the staff are mentors too. So we have a very high retention rate. Dynamite's high school graduation rate over 20 years is 85%. And over the last 5 years, 96% have graduated, which is really significant because right now Minneapolis Public Schools is reporting that their graduation rate is 53%. So that, I think, is another measure that shows that Dynamites is working. Being a faith-based organization, I think we're able to say things that are really powerful sometimes. We might say to the kids, like, we're gonna do some hard things today. And we want you to remember, we can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. A few minutes later, we might be asking them to do that hard thing, and you got heads down and panting, and remind them, remember, you have strength. God's given you the strength to do this. You have the strength that you need inside you right now. They might even remember the moments where they began to believe that, where they began to believe, I should be fearless. Only believe, do not fear.
It would break your heart to see what we pull out of here every day. We're out here 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, cleaning up the water.
Probably dump that, man.
You guys need some help?
Sure.
Yeah.
No way. JJ, what?
What's up, man?
How's it going?
I don't believe it.
JJ, come on.
Thank you, sir. Welcome
Come on.
aboard, baby.
Isn't that for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So what are you guys doing out here? What's the whole cleanup about?
Well, we're just doing the right thing. It's a kind of a thankless job. It's out of sight, out of mind. Somebody's got to do it.
What's the dream for the cleanup project?
You know, my dream is for people to think twice before they throw something out.
No problem, boys. I thought I was going to have to come over there and show you how to do it.
That's not going to smell good.
Not pleasant. Great play, baby.
What would you do without these guys?
I would be in trouble. I don't know what I would do. These guys are everything to me.
You ever catch anything? Brackish waters up in here? I've caught castaneted shrimp. You eat them? No. It's been a good day, fellas. I appreciate you guys having me out here. It's eye-opening to see all the trash and everything that you guys pick up.
For me, it's really not just a job. You know, it's a passion.
I appreciate you having me out. You can swing a mean net, man.
Appreciate you helping us. It was a long, hot day.
You aren't kidding. It's hot. Talk about it. Yeah. The heat's a little different than it is on the field.
Too heavy? Try it.
I got it.
Lift it up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Looks great.
Wow. This looks amazing. Can I help you make a few?
Sure.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Hi, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you. So how long have you been doing this?
2 years.
2 years. So you're an expert.
Yes.
Can you do one with my name?
Sure.
D-E-R-E-K?
D-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
What's the ultimate dream for your business?
I really wish I had more bracelets to make every single day.
What do you do with the money?
We have this hunger project that I give back to the kids that don't have enough money to buy food.
So the more bracelets you make, the more money you raise, and then the more kids you can help out. How long have you had this dream?
10 years.
So you're 6 years old and you had the dream for 10 years. That's pretty good. That's someone that knows what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what do you think about this?
Ooh. Yeah.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Okay.
We are between first and second period here of the Eden Prairie Eagles and the Wayzata Trojans. No goals in the period, but there were plenty of scoring chances between these two hockey clubs, and we're going to take a look at a quick highlight package of 6 such scoring chances. We'll take a look at that right now as we'll pull that. It was a 23 and a 22. That was Keller and Langenbrunner back in behind. One from Jackson. Blake, watch how Steve's the slot. Oh, Steve's gathered that in. It looked like it was like a quick neutral curl and a backhander that just missed. Johnson across the line. Now this is a post from Tyler Johnson. Wide, stick save. Benello back over to the far corner. Stansberry off the post. That snuck in past Benello. Ran on the pass to Langenbrunner, instead forced to play it after. Now this is another shot on a one-timer. Busby. Middlestad on the Langenbrunner. This one hit the post as well. Middlestad there tried to play that to the Eden Prairie Eagles. 40 to go in the first. Well, where'd that come? Scoreless from. Here's Bruce Streeter.
The line.
Picks up the puck across the line. Nice pad save made by Rosenlund to turn that one aside.
Word.
And then the Eagles
Inside
come
out
back with another chance.
Look at the
Look at this,
sophomore
stays
pass
with
as
it. Back
slithers
door.
right
Oh,
through
they
the
had
crease
there to
with it.
Steves.
That
That
was
was
set
set
up
up
by
by
Jackson.
Jackson. Blake's work
Now
way
it's
up
gonna be
high
nice to come away
in
as
the
he
neutral
brings the
zone. That
boards
was
away
Luke
from
Middlestat on the
Brown.
feet, and then this
Gathered
one
it in,
closes
corralled
out
it
the
in
period.
front.
Drew
Oh.
there from the corner, as there were plenty of scoring chances in this hockey game, especially Eden Prairie, generating more of the scoring chances so far, and they'll look to continue that effort as the Trojans so have locked in. Air guitar being played by Tom Gertis.
He looks pretty good too, like he's done that before.
I was waiting to see if Paul Ranheim, a former drummer like yours truly, was playing the Neil Peart air drums.
And then Lee can come in and do the Geddy Lee and play the bass.
I don't know if I've ever seen a high school coach do that.
Oh, neither have I.
You know, if you ever worry about the Eagles not being there, he's too bad Todd Grover isn't. There he is. There he goes. Oh man, he went full.
I think Alex Leifson might grab a couple of those moves, make him his own.
Oh, Alex Leifson, what a gem.
Say, I was trying to get the shots on goal for that period, but everybody's on their phone. It was very difficult. The site didn't come up. My guess is Eden Prairie probably had about 12, and Wayzata had about 8. How about that? We'll just ballpark it.
Okay, ballpark it. You want me to text Joe down to the box for you? I didn't know you were trying to get the shots.
Text Joe if you can.
Joe Cook, of course, your public address announcer.
No, they're taking up both. That's going to be Jack Kimlinger for the Trojans, and it's also going to be Jackson Blake. Oh, they just tossed him out. Good. Boy, there's a little motion coming start the second period.
You got to like that fire and brimstone here from the Eden Prairie Community Center. These two teams playing for keeps. Blake across the line. He's stopped on the play. Mortensen plays that one rink wide for Davison in front of the bench area. Now it's going to be Blake. Nifty moving on goal. Oh, what a save by Bonello. He gets the pad down and kept that one out of the net. Now John Middlestat fights off a check from Davison. Back into the neutral zone it goes, as that's Kimlinger. And now it's going to be Steves as he looks and plays this one back up the left wing boards. John Middlestat down on the play goes Ludke in front of the penalty box as they try to poke that loose. Davison comes away with it. Flips it to the near corner as it's going to be Langenbrunner. Up to the right wing side. Blake touch pass for Middlestat. Ooh, he had Steves on the move across the line. And here they come back out of the zone with Sauer. He gets a stick from Blake and stays on that to the corner. They look out front. Ooh, that's a nice feed there. He stayed with his angle to the corners. He forced Langfels to turn a different way, and they had a great chance through his legs. So they got that to the goal mouth area.
Well, indeed, it was Sauer that did the heavy lifting. But then it was Lewis that came in and put that redirect on Axel Rosalind. He did a nice job of holding that short side and keeping that puck out of the net. Face off to his left.
Back off the corner it goes. Siemens is there. He'll stay on that puck. There's a 2-on-2 battle back in behind the net. Now it's Peters with it. Brown gets a stick in on him, as they'll continue to play this out of the zone with Holt with some speed. Back up through center as Ness watches him. Nice job to cut that off. Ness plays that ahead for Peters across the line. Leaves to the left wing side for Siemens. Back up to the line as that's knocked into the corner. Langfels with it. Bumps off the boards to the right wing side for Holt. Drew Holt plays this one ahead. Finds Carter Batchelder. Puts on the brakes. Now he holds it. Ooh, he could have had a shot there. Instead he wanted to find one of the men traveling toward the goal mouth area. Langfels better hurry because he has pressure coming from O'Connell. Instead, he'll play this one back into the corner. Out of the zone come the Trojans. They'll lay this one up the near boards as that's knocked into the zone by Keller. Back behind now. It's controlled by Eden Prairie. Britton finds Bergandy through center. Trickles into the Wayzata zone. Ness clears to a near board. Lindahl with it. Back over to Ness. Long ahead it goes, and that one's going to be an icing call. Back into Wayzata territory we go with 14:46 to go in the second period.
Well, Peter, this Eden Prairie team likes to float their defensemen up if they get an opportunity to get involved in the offensive part of the play, but it's Wayzata Trojan forwards that are getting behind the Eden Prairie defense. There at one point was 2 Wayzata Trojan forwards on the red line and only 1 Eden Prairie defender back to cover that, so it's something that Eden Prairie is going to have to be aware of. Well, they're working the rush pretty hard today.
With Joey Cook, it's a steady diet. It's great. We've had working man. We just had right there, right. Fly by night. And then they stepped up with Tom Sawyer to open up the period. I mean, it's just beautiful. Puck run around the boards. Davison is there. It puts me in a good mood. That much I know. Glove down. Bonello leaves off for his defenseman. Wagi, that was a nice play by the goaltender to keep it in front and give them a chance to break out clean. Eagles repel from center. They like their neutral zone play on the bench. Cut off by Johnson at the line. Finds an opening and sends that one in. That's off Wagi's stick. Now they step up and play this back through center with Mortensen. Steered aside by Rosenlund. Now there's Steves for Middlestat back in across the line. Steves to the net with speed. Shoots, scores! Oh, that's what Ben Steves can do. He catches it. It's on his stick for about a half a second. Then he buries it for the 1-0 lead.
Well, that'll be goal number 28. And there's a reason why he has that many. He's got the great hands, but he's got that quick release. I think it kind of deceived Bonello just a little bit, but the puck got on a stick in a hurry, and he just went up over the shoulder blocker side. But that's the first tally of this game. 14:01 left in the second period. Eden Prairie's got some energy. Wayzata doesn't appear stunned by that. They just have to get back to work. But for Steves, it's goal number 28 from Middlestat.
Boy, when he puts it on net, it's trouble. Now it's Middlestat with it. Bonello will clear that one off to the right wing side. Blake was there. Steves looks back up for Blake. Blake comes away, shoots. Nice save, rebound. Now it's going to be gathered in by Steves. Goes up high to Middlestat. Back door they go looking for John Middlestat. Now he'll come away with it. Turns away from a would-be checker there in Podiak. And now it's going to be the Trojans to the near boards out of the zone. Schneider jammed by Casey as he gets that one in. Now it's Luke Middlestat back in behind the net. Touch pass, John Middlestat to Blake. Looked for help, but there was no room. Oh, on the tape somehow through, 3 or 4 Trojans sticks in the neutral zone. Impressive stuff. Absolutely, thanks. Word efficiency at its finest. Now to the left wing side. I couldn't spit that out. That one just missed the mark. Streeter is there. Brown. Streeter back in behind the net. Schneider is there. He'll look back up to the line as he'll play that one rink wide. McCollins is there. Check that was Keller that plays that one into the corner. Back in behind. Langenbrunner guides to the near boards for Holt. Holt will look back to the neutral zone. Chopped down there by Keller. Nice play to play into the Eden Prairie zone. Shoulder to shoulder goes Langenbrunner and Streeter as Langenbrunner clears to the right wing side. Holt plays to center. Cleared into him by Wagi as Holt plays to the corner in front. Oh, and Batchelder just missed the mark. He turns off the side of the cage. Now that's bumped off the boards. That's Lindahl to the zone. There's a redirect that misses the mark. Now it's Brown with it as he plays to Holt back in behind. Holt will stay with it. Langfels tries to push that down the line. He gets it back. There's a shot in on goal. Bonello looks it in and makes the save.
Wow, it was a good save by Bonello, but it was Langfels that actually walked the line a little bit, got a little better angle, put a good offering about 1.5 feet off the ice, but he did have Batchelder waiting in the wing, so nice job by the Eden Prairie goaltender. Official scoring was Steves from John Middlestat and Luke Middlestat at the 2:59 mark of this second period.
Off the end boards they go with it. Podiak is there. Siemens now. That was off Langfels. From the end boards, it's played back around, up high to the line. Ness wrist shot. That goes up and out of play.
Well, the faceoff is going to be in the Eden Prairie zone. But Wayzata very aggressive on the forecheck. 2 men on the puck, and they're being mildly effective. They want that trend to continue. I don't know the premise for that whistle, Pete. I don't know if you saw it, but again, Eden Prairie zone to Rosenlund's left.
One-timer, glove save, and a great bid there from Hayden Davison, looking for goal number 4 on the season. That was impressive.
Wow, with Luke Middlestead, I think tried to clear the zone, but it hit a stance. It came right back out on a doily for him, a redirect toward
The doily.
But nice save by the Eden Prairie goaltender.
Mid-afternoon tea.
Crumpets.
I knew that was coming. Back in behind the net now. It's controlled by Kimlinger. They'll look for a wraparound. There's a shot. Oh, and a nice save. Rosenlund attacked. Came off the post and got to the top of the crease and made a nice stick save. You need goaltending if you want to win a title. That much is true. John Middlestad for Blake, and on goal back door we had Luke Middlestad open as he was closed in on, and here they come. They've got a 2-on-1 if they hurry. Luke Middlestad races back in. Luke Middlestad, if you take a look at this on replay, took Davidson out as far as an option is concerned, and the shooter and the D-man were handled by the goaltender. Wow. Great hustle by 27.
No question about it. Ramped up and out of play, and Ness and Steve's having some words at the neutral ice. The referee had to get between them. I don't know what transpired, but a little extracurricular. So emotions are starting to ramp up a little bit, but it was a good defensive effort by this Wayzata Trojan team to stop a pretty good rush. By the Eden Prairie team to stop a good forward rush by this Trojan team. 1-0
here in the second period. Don't forget, the MNHockey.tv will be streaming select regional youth playoffs at every age level coming up in a week from next weekend. So that's the 28th, 29th, and 1st of February and March. And then we will have the state high school hockey tournament from here, audio only. But again, listen to us on your way down to the state tournament, or turn them down, turn us up. And then the youth state tournament as well, from junior gold all the way to Pee Wee B1 on the boys. And then, of course, 19U, 15s, and 12s for the girls. Plenty of hockey to go here at the MNHockey.tv. And we have our rink streams, too. You can check those out. We have district playoffs from the Plymouth Ice Center, along with the New Hope Ice Arena, St. Louis Park Rec Center, Hopkins Pavilion, all engaged in district playoffs. Back into the corner it goes. Streeter is there. Langenbrunner, they're roughing their man up. Now 9:48 to go here in the second. That one's off the end boards as Langenbrunner rather tries to get in on his man. That's Siemens from the end boards. Now Brown stopped again as he spun off the puck. Off the right wing side for Holt. He'll spring Batchelder. He's watched on the play by Gardner. To the corner it goes. Gardner wraps his man up. Holt, nice job to fish. Comes away with it. He'll walk up the left wing side. Backdoor. Brown, one of the one-timer, just missed the mark. In front, Holt scores! Oh, my word. He goes bar down with a beauty. 2-0 Eden Prairie.
Well, in fact, another bar down, blocker side on Bonello, but good work by Eden Prairie to create some space. I think Riku Brown had a point-blank opportunity. That one just went wide, but they didn't quit on the play. I think it was Batchelder that fished that one back out from behind the goal, back out front. And it was Drew Holt that finished that one out. Drew Holt has been on the score sheet, but finally gets rewarded for a lot of hard work. And for Holt, that's going to be goal number 8. But he contributes in so many ways on this team. Nice to see him get rewarded for a lot of hard work. Got a fist bump
they're taking
from Coach
Batchelder.
Well, it was a bit of an unsportsmanlike after he went by one of the Wayzata Trojan and gave him a little bit of a cross check. I don't know what the call is going to be, but
to the corner it goes. Gardner wraps his man up. Holt, nice job to fish. Comes away with it. He'll walk up the left wing side. Backdoor. Brown, one of the one-timer, just scores! Oh, my. You open the door now for the Trojans on the power play to erase really what that goal meant, unfortunately. And one of the things that I've always said is you're not in personal battles with the other team to show them up. You're out to win the hockey game.
No, absolutely. But
or baseball game or whatever.
Whatever sporting event it may be, as
Lacrosse,
long as it's a scoreboard.
Football.
But they're very familiar with each other. Obviously, Eden Prairie probably still stinging from that 2-1 earlier victory by Wayzata. And Coach O'Leary's having some time with both of the referees, and he looks a little animated. He doesn't look happy.
He's
at
definitely
this
letting them have it. And when a coach is that dialed in, they're on their point, and they have one to make.
No, I agree.
And he made it.
And
Absolutely.
He's that fired up, and they have a power play, so something really
there's
egregious
something
must
on
have
the end
happened.
boards he is talking about there.
Well, he's certainly, I like the fact that the referees are giving him time. One of them kind of bailed to drop the puck, and the other one's still getting a tongue lashing, but I'm sure that I'm sure his point was well made. Might have some residual value down the way.
You know what, though? You can tell by body language he was appreciative of the opportunity to air his grievance.
I think he got a misconduct because we're 5-on-5.
5-on-5. So
that's a big penalty right there.
I mean, it's the lesser. I mean,
no, they're not shorthanded. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But they're without Batchelder for a good 10 minutes.
Off the side of the net they go as they try to muscle that one through.
Well, we saw a little bit of the John Middleset creativity on that one. He knew he didn't have any avenue to get that puck into the blue area without pulling it and trying to go behind the goaltender, but Pinella did a nice job of taking that away from him very quickly. You have to move quick when Middlestat's on the ice.
John Middlestat going to the lace right now, has to retie the boot. And because of that, he gets tossed. It's part of the game. And Lutke gets the draw as they play it up to the near boards. Kimlinger is there as he's going to play that ahead. Casey gets that to Jackson Blake, who sends a long pass over, knocked down out of the air by Steves. Steves with a nice, see that thing gets there so quick. Quick wrister, but nice glove there made by Bonello as he read that in and hung on.
Well, again, it was Blake that was working the puck through traffic, sent a laser to Steves. He knocked it down in stride, and then he was going against Ness, and he pulled the puck toward his skates, changed the angle a little bit, fired one on the goaltender, Bonello, but nice job by Bonello to corral that one up. 8:42 left in the second period. 2-0 Eden Prairie.
Here comes Peters off the defensive zone. The D-man off the boards. Swung on there by Siemens. Knocked away there by Rosenlund. Now it's going to be Stansberry to play ahead to Johnson through center ice. He's got Langenbrunner flowing up. He fanned on that one. Now Ness will take the freebie. That one, though, too far, and icing will be the call as he missed the mark on Siemens.
Well, Siemens had some space over here, so if Ness would have just taken that extra moment but wanted to make a quick play, he's done so many good things. I'm not getting on the young man, but that would have been Siemens pretty much in all alone with Rosenlund with his speed. So Eden Prairie, there I go again, catches a bit of a break.
Word.
It's coming all the way down.
Freudians flying everywhere, Bart Archer.
The one per period, so I'm going to forewarn you that it's going to happen probably in the third.
Back in behind the net. Big check thrown on the end boards. Pergandy has been a physical presence all year. Now from the corner, it's going to be Waggy with it as he looks up to the right wing. Sliding over was Johnson, played back down the wall. Lindahl was there, and we have a penalty. They're taking both.
Well, it's going to be Pergandy, and it's going to be Waggy for Wayzata, so coincidental, so we'll still stay 5-on-5, but as we've said so many times before, these coincidental penalties, it'll be at least 2 minutes, and then when the next whistle is, and when this goes. Go ahead, Pete.
On Senior Day, of course, we want to mention all of the seniors you see on your list right there for the Eden Prairie Eagles playing their last home regular season game.
Hopefully not their last game for sure, but we appreciate watching them for the many years that they have and their talents. They've served their community quite well.
Langfels plays that back in behind the net. That's cut off, and there's Holt, comes away with that. 5-on-5 with the coincidental minors for Slash. Back up to the line, that's knocked through. There's Holt. Oh, what a save by Bonello. Got big. Went from left to right, took it right off the glove and the crest from the sweater. Now they're going to play this one off the end boards. Shepard is there as he's now in place of Batchelder on this line. There's Brown off the end boards as that's going to trickle underneath the heel of his stick as O'Connell comes away with it. He tries to play up the left wing side,
nice
and here they come back out of the zone with it. Streeter across the line, blocker pad save, turned over to the near side. Back from center. And it's going to be Luke Middlestad with it, as he'll accelerate back up to the right wing side. Holt, nice heavy stick there by Schneider. forces the turnover, but they're just caught in offside with 6:39 to go in the second period.
Well, Wayzata's just putting a lot of bodies on the puck carrier and really taking away the options for these Eden Prairie defensemen, so they're forced to lug it up, and then they stop them at the offensive blue, and that puck just snuck over and then back in, hence the faceoff just outside the Eden Prairie zone. But nice work by Wayzata getting on these defensemen in a hurry and really creating some havoc.
In on goal, glove down by Rosenlund as he's going to hang on. And will face off to his left. A lot of whistles here in the midsection of this period.
Well, that's good for the two guys that are in for the coincidental penalties, but a little bit unusual. There was a pretty good flow to this, but you're right, kind of stops and starts in the last couple minutes.
Casey. Blake is checked on the play. From the left wing side, it's John Middlestadt. Now it's Steves. And they'll give this one off to the right wing side. Schneider with it. Peters plays back in behind for Schneider. Back up for Peters. Gives over to the right side. Misses Ness with that feed, who gathers and shoots. That's deflected wide of the mark. Shallow angle. Another opportunity. They poke away. Whistle blows, and they say no goal.
Well, referee in good proximity. He was the one that blew the whistle, so it's more intent than actual when the whistle blows. But it was Wayzata that had a couple really good opportunities, but Roseland held his ground quite well. Ness and Steves are still barking. Now it's Ness and Johnny Middleset that are barking, but it was Ness that blew up Steves in the corner. Really a good, clean body check. And then Steves came by. They had a couple words, so emotions are certainly amping up, but everything is with purpose. Ness just a very controlled player that likes to bring the physical game. I'm sure Steves is very well aware when he's on the ice, and he seems to be matching up against him as much as Coach O'Leary can put him out there. Done a great job so far.
We go outside because the net was knocked off, and I think it was by a Trojan player as they were going to the net.
Very aggressively.
Or it was a man in the crease, either or. And that's what brought it back outside. Over to the corner, Britton is there. Ludke. Wrapped up by Brown. Oh, look at that little fish. Now Holt waits for it at center. He's got Langenbrunner up in the play with him. Holt with a snapper in on goal. Off the entry.
You know, I kind of like that play. Actually, it was Langenbrunner that just took off and went beeline it right up the gut, forced the defenseman to account for him, and it really created a little bit of space for Drew Holt. He put the shot on goal, so Pinella didn't actually make that save. It was Langenbrunner waiting in the wings, but then they were quick to protect their goaltenders. 4 people around Langenbrunner to escort him out of the blue area. But good decision by Holt, good shot on goal, nice save by Pinello.
You know, we've watched Mason Langenbrunner last year with Clocasko Carleton, and then here with Eden Prairie, and you know, I think his progression over the past 12 to 13, 14 months has been really impressive, and he's just getting better and better and better as the season goes on. He knows when to and when not to, but I think the thing that's the most underrated part about his game is how he defends.
Well, yeah, absolutely, but I love his patience as well, but he always has his head up. And Neri, he really doesn't put his head down other than once in a while to check, so he's very well aware of everything that's going on the ice. That certainly helps his defensive game.
He's got a big frame back there as a defenseman as well.
Plus he can scoot.
Now it's going to be Ness with it, who fans on that. That might have hit some snow as well. Steves, now Ness goes down, Middlestadt, Steves. Oh, what a defensive play. That's off the skate of Mortensen. I don't know if that was that's not on purpose, but boy, that's a big break because those two are dangerous in 2-on-1 situations. Blake swings that through the goal mouth area. Steves comes away, finds Langenbrunner up high, quick slapper. That's blocked on its way through, delayed penalty. This is on the Trojans off the end boards. Blake gets his stick in on Ness, and we have a penalty coming up.
Well, it's going to be on Dylan Lewis. It's going to be a cross check, and he caught Langenbrunner when he was a bit vulnerable. He wound up, took that shot, and you're a bit exposed on that. He took some liberties on that one, so he's going to spend 2 minutes in the box. And it looks like Langenbrunner's just being looked at by the proper people. I'm sure he'll be back, but those don't feel good, especially if it's in the rib area. Not a lot of protection there and very tender. But Lewis is going to be in the box. So power play for Eden Prairie, 4:47 left in the second period, up by 2. Golden opportunity to really kind of set a little precedence here going into the second intermission. It's been a really fun game. There's been a lot of intensity and a lot of extracurricular conversations and stuff. You have to like it when both teams are as engaged as these two teams are.
It's a playoff game for sure.
Indeed it is.
The atmosphere is there, and you know these guys There's a big collision in the neutral zone. Blake comes away with it, gives over for John Middlestad. Steves across the line, off the post. That's a trifecta.
Same spot.
Now Luke Middlestad plays back over for John Middlestad. Now it's Steves up for Luke Middlestad. Backdoor, he wanted Steves. Now John Middlestad reaches for it at the line, tries to keep it, but Peters makes the read and feeds off to the right wing side. Looking to make a move through center is O'Connell. That was off the skate of Luke Middlestad, and brother John gathers it in back out of the corner. Now it's going to be played up through the middle by Blake. Now Steves all the way around to the near side as John Middlestad will come down to make the play, looking for Riku Brown. And now it's Steves to play this one, but picked off by Peters. Look out. Ahead they go with it across center. O'Connell, nice feet in front. Oh, what a save made by Rosenlund. Eagles are going to transition. Heady job by the Tendy to keep it alive, but they mishandle at the line, and the Trojans will send that one back in under a minute to go on the power play with 55 on that, 3:40 in the period. Now Luke Middlestad with it. He'll carry this one across center. Dumps that one in. Tough one to handle there for Bandello as that kind of short hopped him. Langenbrunner watched on the play by Siemens. Now it's Busby. Leaves back for Langenbrunner. Dances across the line. Rings it around the boards back in behind. And now it's going to be Shepard over to Busby off the right side. Langenbrunner with it. He has Holt on the left, goes there. Holt loads it up. He wanted the shot, didn't like it. Stays on it. Now he pushes that through. That came through quickly. Nice save made by Bonello. Got the left pad down. That snuck through. Now to the right left wing side, it's Siemens. He's going to flip that one in on Rosenlund. He's going to hang on to that one. 3 seconds to go, and the Trojans are going to kill that penalty off. A nice PK for them.
Well, Eden Prairie had some pretty good possession, and they worked the puck quite well with some patience, but you're right, kept everything to the outside. But Wayzata came down 2-on-1. Lee Smith, the first unit, was actually 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. They got a little aggressive, came down. Roseland made a nice save, and again, another offering by Wayzata being shorthanded. Just 3 seconds left in the penalty to Lewis. Then we're back to 5-on-5.
More Skinnerd, love it. Trojans now are at full strength, 5-on-5 for 2:40 to go. Played off the boards by Waggy. Holt comes away. That's been glued to his stick here in the offensive zone as Bonello wisely traps that one between his pad.
Well, it was Carson Peters that provided the challenge for Holt, but Holt won that battle. Came around, couldn't really get it out into the scoring area. Tried to go short side on that one, but Wayzata just pinned the puck up against the net, so faceoff's going to be to the right. 2:30 left to go. It'd be nice for Wayzata if they could put some pressure on Rosenlund, maybe punch one in and be one good shot down going into the period, but I think both teams just want to finish this period very strong and not make a mistake.
Turned over at the line. Langenbrunner is going to be pushed by Davison, but Langenbrunner makes the play and stays on his feet. Stansberry's going to tap that into the Wayzata zone. To the corner it goes for Lindahl as he's jammed on the play. Nice job down low goes Pergandy as they look to play this one up to the left wing boards. Stick by Johnson in on his man. That's Lutke with it. Off the boards to center. Pergandy smoked on that play by Kimlinger. Tough kid is Canyon Pergandy as he gets up.
Well, and he's not a small man either, but he went in pretty hard along the wall. He looks to be no worse for the wear, but Wayzata, if they get an opportunity to lay the body on, they're going to with this Eden Prairie team, but now just 1:51 to go. Faceoff is going to be, looks like it's center ice.
Now Blake across the line, fights off a check from Waggy. Out of the phone booth, Langfels loads and shoots. Glove save, Bonello, beautiful. Well, look there.
Well, again, another impressive sequence by Jackson Blake, just dangling through traffic, and he put it on Langfels' stick. Langfels with another good shot, keeps kind of go about a foot off the ice on the glove side. A good idea, but it's Bonello that rose to that occasion once again. But Blake's very impressive with his patience just for a sophomore. He's not shy about traffic, and he actually welcomes it, but he comes out successful more often than not.
Hard off the glass. Luke Middlestad with it. Wrister, blocker pad save again. Bonello He's been busy in this one.
Indeed he has, and that one was a challenging one. That was blocker side. He hit it with a blocker and it fell straight down, so there might have been a second chance opportunity for John Middlestat, but he covered it very, very quickly. But good offering by Luke from the left point.
Through the 2 defense to center it goes. Langfeld's over for Luke Middlestat. Right wing side for Blake as he looks up ice. John Middlestat angles to the left wing. Look for Blake as that one's knocked to center. Nice job by Langfelds to keep the line as he guides that into the corner. John Middlestat reaches for that one as he plays to the corner. Blake now walks from the boards, turns, shoots, pushed away. Blake gets it back. Snapper, that one off the window. That's put off the boards. Nice job by Steves to keep that alive. That's blocked. Luke Middlestat again, backdoor. John Middlestat wanted to pull the trigger, couldn't quite get that done. And here they come back out of the zone. Now it's Mortensen to the right wing side, wide of the mark. Langfeld's now off the boards. John Middlestat in full steam there. That's Stansberry to Middlestat. He has Steves in front, try to guide that through. Peters kicks it over, nice play. But that's stolen away from Steves. He gets through one man, knocked out of there by Bonello. Steves looks in front through the slot area. Now on the stick of Keller. Holt watches that one go to the corner as Busby will gather with 20 to go in the period. That hits Stansberry. And now it's Ludke turning this back up ice to the left wing side. Now they'll gain the line with Peters. His wrister will hit the netting with 3.6 to go in the period.
Well, I think Carter Batchelder is getting pretty anxious to get out of that penalty box. He's been on his feet for the last minute. I thought he was going to come out on the whistle, but just 3.6. Still plenty of time for Wayzata to push one toward Axel Rosalind and do some damage, and it's going to be Ludke on the faceoff, and he's a left-handed shot. Is he going to go to the net, or is he going to come back? Talk amongst yourselves.
50-50 puck off the glass.
Busby just got an elbow from Ness right in the kisser.
Yeah, they had a couple of words there. Busby is not holding back right now. Ness, you know what? He's a physical player. He just says, okay, yeah, man. That's how he is.
Well, everybody knows when he's on the ice. If they didn't before, they do now.
Big, strong kid, no question.
Well, he is a big, strong kid, but yeah, Busby jumped right back up, so he's kind of a tough customer himself. But 2-0, Prairie goes into the locker room. Goals from Steves and Holt are the goal scorers, but Eden Prairie 2-0. Wayzata going to the locker room, make some adjustments. They got some work to do.
We'll come back with more high school hockey from the Eden Prairie Community Center. Third period comes up for you at the MNHockey.tv.
Too heavy? Try it.
I got it.
Lift it up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Looks great.
Wow. This looks amazing. Can I help you make a few?
Sure.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Hi, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you. So how long have you been doing this?
2 years.
2 years. So you're an expert.
Yes.
Can you do one with my name?
Sure.
D-E-R-E-K?
D-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the ultimate dream for your business?
I really wish I had more bracelets to make every single day.
What do you do with the money?
We have this hunger project that I give back to the kids that don't have enough money to buy food.
So the more bracelets you make, the more money you raise, and then the more kids you can help out. How long have you had this dream?
10 years.
So you're 6 years old and you had the dream for 10 years. That's pretty good. That's someone that knows what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what do you think about this?
Ooh. Yeah.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Okay.
It would break your heart to see what we pull out of here every day. We're out here 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, cleaning up the water.
Probably dump that, man.
You guys need some help?
Sure.
Yeah.
No way. JJ Watt.
What's up, man? How's it going?
I don't believe it.
Good. JJ, come on.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome
Come on.
aboard, baby.
Isn't that for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
Sure. So what are you guys doing out here? What's the whole cleanup about?
Well, we're just doing the right thing. It's a kind of a thankless job. It's out of sight, out of mind. Somebody's got to do it.
What's the dream for the cleanup project?
You know, my dream is for people to think twice before they throw something out.
No problem, boys. I thought I was going to have to come over there and show you how to do it.
That's not going to smell good.
Not pleasant. Great play, baby.
What would you do without these guys?
I would be in trouble. I don't know what I would do. These guys are everything to me.
You ever catch anything? Brackish waters up in here? I've caught castaneted shrimp. You eat them? No. It's been a good day, fellas. I appreciate you guys having me out here. It's eye-opening to see all the trash and everything that you guys pick up.
For me, it's really not just a job, you know, it's a passion.
I appreciate you having me out. You can swing a mean net, man.
Appreciate you helping us. It was a long, hot day.
You aren't kidding. It's hot. Talk about it. Yeah. The heat's a little different than it is on the field.
I think that being in a sport, it has built into it the concept that we are going to face a challenge. When we do sport the right way, we are teaching values. We're teaching kids how to be hard workers. We're teaching kids how to be courageous, to be fearless. Dynamites, because we have a focus on whole life youth development, physical, academic, social and spiritual excellence, we get that we're trying to develop people to be whole people. And I think that when you combine that mission with sport, I think you naturally get that. We have programs in each of those 4 areas. We have ice hockey for physical excellence. Academic excellence includes academic support like one-on-one tutoring. We have a summer academic camp. Social excellence includes our big community service project, Greg Carroll Learn to Skate, and also we're faith-based. So when kids are old enough, they have the choice to go to summer camp, kind of that traditional summer church camp. Every kid in the program has multiple mentors. If they're in tutoring, they have a very special mentor that's just their very own. And then of course the hockey coaches are mentors, and of course all the staff are mentors too. So we have a very high retention rate. Dynamite's high school graduation rate over 20 years is 85%. And over the last 5 years, 96% have graduated, which is really significant because right now Minneapolis Public Schools is reporting that their graduation rate is 53%. So that, I think, is another measure that shows that Dynamites is working. Being a faith-based organization, I think we're able to say things that are really powerful sometimes. We might say to the kids, like, we're gonna do some hard things today. And we want you to remember, we can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. A few minutes later, we might be asking them to do that hard thing, and you got heads down and panting, and remind them, remember, you have strength. God's given you the strength to do this. You have the strength that you need inside you right now. They might even remember the moments where they began to believe that, where they began to believe, I should be fearless. Only believe, do not fear.
You know, it's pretty easy to be proud of the fact that we've been in continuous operation for almost 120 years. Now, obviously, Ennebec Construction started that, and they're a big part of it. You know, since then, in the 20 years that Tradition's been around, we've built on to that legacy, and I think we've created our own legacy and our own brand, which is pretty special and unique.
We've kind of coined the phrase between all the nutrition companies and led by the bank's Keystone program. However much money we make, we give 10% of our earnings to the community and lots of time as well.
Our business model is centered around building communities, whether that's, providing the dirt work or building the houses or providing the financing. We're really, our success is really part of the overall community success. The fact that we live in the communities that our customers live in as well. We're side by side with them. And really our promise to our customers would be that we reinvest back into the communities and we help make the community stronger, where if you're doing business with, out-of-state competitor, those dollars are going out of state, but we're putting them right back in the community.
somebody off a forum because
Well, so I was
they have an
talking to him
opinion.
about it. He laughed. He goes, I'm out starting controversy. He doesn't care. You just come back as a new name.
Kicking the hornet's nest.
Up at the center ice area. But he, myself, and Mike had a really fascinating discussion. And you are going to hear some of my points because, yes, we are going to do an overtime hockey podcast.
Oh, Brown
Delayed
is gonna
penalty
go.
coming up on Brown. Out of the zone they go with O'Connell. To the right wing side across the line with Keller. Off the glass to center. And we'll see the Trojan power play put into play here.
Well, Riku Brown was going down to the ice, and I think he just got a little aggressive, grabbed the Wayzata Trojan defender and brought him down with. So it's going to be Wayzata. Really a good time for a power play for this Wayzata team, 18.9. So room for improvement, but a very stingy 89.3 penalty kill for Eden Prairie.
Face off one and set the length of the ice. Padella will set that up behind his own net for Ness as he'll have some help down low on the breakout with Keller off to his left and over to the right wing. Sliding up is O'Connell. Now Keller with it. Back over for Ness. Gathers that in and plays that back in behind. Puck will be rung around the boards. Luke Middlestad, bounding puck. Now Batchelder. He'll have a 2-on-1 with Holt. That's knocked away from him by Ness. And now Ness will work this one up ice as he'll play this to the left wing side. Down goes O'Connell. That one was fanned on. Langenbrunner rings the boards and plays that one the length of the ice. 1:12 to go in the period. The penalty. There we go.
Well, Eden Prairie has 5 shorties on the year, so even though Wayzata's on the power play, they still have to mind their defensive responsibilities.
On the stick now for Waggy. To the right wing side for Keller. Through center goes O'Connell across the line. He's stopped on the play. And there's a penalty coming up behind the play for a slash. And they're taking Steves on this one timeout for the Wayzata Trojans with the 5-on-3 for 50 seconds. Big part, big turning point here in this one with 13:56 to go in the period.
Oh, no question about it. Great opportunity it is for this Pat O'Leary Wayzata Trojan. He's going to even take time out right now and make sure that he gets everybody focused. This is really their golden opportunity. They have to make something happen, and it's not just possession and getting pressure on. I think they kind of need to score a goal. Eden Prairie's played pretty good defense today, so goals are going to be very hard to come by, but 5-on-3, great opportunity for Coach O'Leary and this Wayzata Trojan team.
Nick Pierre has a hat trick in Moorhead as Hill Murray leads the Spuds by a score of 3-2. Big development there.
Yeah, that was one of the kind of the featured games as well, but
those two, it's a tradition they play to close out the season. Every year it's automatic on their schedules. They rotate, of course, back and forth with their contract of playing each other.
Well, that's kind of funny with all the conversation. Hill Murray is not quite as represented in the conversation as I thought that they'd be, but they have a pretty formidable group over there. Good goaltender, a couple of players that can bury the puck.
The goaltender is as good as it gets.
Yep.
You know, when you go short list, you know, you've got 2 of the best going at it right now tonight.
You know, I heard, I listened to one of the other competitive stations, and they had a little bit of a talk about Hudson Hodges, obviously, and Carter Clafton. Then they brought up Remington Keppel. You know, Pete, I just thought, in the back of my mind, Loudon Hogue, obviously he's not getting a lot of pub, but he's really been challenged this year, and his numbers are better. His goals against is now under 2. And that's an Edina team that plays good defense, but they still have a propensity to give up some shots. But there's a lot of good tenders.
What about Penny?
Absolutely. That was my point. I was just going to say there's so many good goaltenders in the state. It's hard to narrow them down.
Ness plays this over to the left wing side. Touch pass back up for Ness. Rister. Oh, that was a good look there. Rosenlund makes the save. The Trojans now control 29 of 5-on-3. Mortensen, Ness, back down to the corner. There's Keller with it. On the off wing, Ness gets low. Oh, and a nice pad save. Rosenlund has bodies to deal with, and that's Podiak among others.
Well, he might be flirting with goaltender interference the way he's playing aggressively down there.
Here's a shot by Mortensen. Score!
Oh, there it is.
Wires that up top, and they continue with a power play for another 119 of 5-on-4 as Brown steps on the ice. The Trojans cut that lead at half now. at 2-1 with plenty of time, of power play time to go to work.
Well, it was Mortensen that scored that goal, but it was Podiak that was creating some havoc. I think he kind of distracted Axel Rosalind. I'm not sure Rosalind actually saw that shot, but it was a bullet from the point. Just 8 seconds left on that penalty, so timing is very good. 1:19 left in the man advantage. Now it's down to 5-on-4, but they're just one good shot down. Nice power play so far for Wayzata.
Wow, they left a man unchecked on the faceoff circle Schneider, and they get the draw. Possession so important here on power plays. Slung over to the near boards for Peters. Luke Middlestat finds an opening and sends that one back in behind. Bonello cut that off. Blake was there. Now here's Lutke through center. Stepping up on the play as Luke Middlestat off the glass, and deep it goes. Mortensen with the most recent goal here, as he'll hang on to the puck and wait for the power play breakout to work. Didn't like what he had as Stansberry read his man, as did Blake. Boy, precious seconds running off the clock, but you want to make sure on the breakout. Puck will be moved ahead off the feed there. That was Lutke to play that one ahead. Now at the line, that's Stansberry. And through center ice it goes. Mortensen turns back up ice. It's controlled and played back in. Now Langfels has it quickly off the boards to center. Bounces the stick of Mortensen over for Ness. Cut off by Holt at center. Holt has Batchelder with him. Holt now loads it up. Angle scores! A short-handed marker for Drew Holt, and the Eagles go up 3-1.
Actually, I think it was Steves that just got out of the box, but Holt had some space, and they just kept backing up very soft at the blue line. Gave him some space, forced him to the outside, but once he got to a shallow angle, again up and under the bar, 3-1 gives the Eagles some energy, but I think that was 5-on-5, and I think Steves might even get a +1 on that one, just from being on the ice.
That's
when he
hilarious.
Just got out of the box.
Nice call there, Bart Archer. So that was, the entry was shorthanded.
Yes.
And Steves, that was an absolute snipe right there. That thing had some juice.
And
3-1.
Another one just under the bar.
Eagles regain the 2-goal lead here in the third period. Steves now out of the box, as we mentioned. Cuts across the line. Knocked off his stick by O'Connell. That's off a pair of skates, but controlled up to Britton. His wrist shot blocked. Look out. Streeter through center. He's got goal-scoring touch.
Oh.
He's brought down by Langenbrunner. Into the net he goes. No call there. A little bit surprising.
Well, again, but he got the puck. I think if he would have missed that puck, that call would have been made. But really a nice wingspan by Langenbrunner to poke that puck off the stick. But he came in with some enthusiasm, as you said. Streeter, Rosalind did a good athletic play just to get out of his way, and he took the goal all the way to the end board. So he had some velocity going on. But boy, a nice challenge at the blue line by Eden Prairie. But it was Wayzata who made the play, came down with some speed. And but nice play by Langenbrunner to keep that puck out of the danger zone.
Pergandy in to take the draw against Sauer. Face off control. That's pushed wide by Lewis. They'll come away with it. Back in behind. Lewis gets it.
Casey without a stick. But the goal scorer is Holt, second goal of the game, 9th of the season. He's earned every one of them. They've been nice.
That was a break for the Eagles with Casey needing a twig.
I agree.
Pushed off the gear of Lewis, who advances that one ahead. Lewis plays back in behind. Casey gathers off to the right wing side. Stansberry for Johnson. Cuts back to the middle. Knocked away from him. Lindahl will play his man to the corner. Now it's Johnson fishing his Stansberry. Johnson stays on that one. Tried to muscle his way back through and sent through everyone. That'll roll back in on goal as Rosalind's going to go safety valve and cover that one up as Siemens was there.
Well, not a bad play. Just a little bit under 11 minutes to go in regulation time, and it was Siemens that was closing in. So he's giving his coach an opportunity to put some fresh bodies on. Lee Smith apparently very happy with that shift from his players. He's giving them knuckles. I think that Eden Prairie's played a very sound defensive game, and intermittently I think Wayzata's really been 50-50, but Eden Prairie's defense tonight has really kind of shown.
Now back in behind the net as they work their way on the puck. Brown with it. Through center to Holt. Holt has Batchelder. Batchelder gathered, but nice stick there by Waggy to break that one up. He had a bit of opening on the net there if he could have pulled the trigger there. And a delayed penalty, this one again on the Eagles for interference.
That's going to be Riku Brown. That's his second penalty of this game, and he's not one to take a bunch of penalties, so another opportunity it is for this Wayzata Trojan team on the power play. Successful last time at the 5-on-3 in the waning moments. Eden Prairie with a pretty good kill. Once it got to 5-on-4, they're going to be challenged. I think Roseland's going to be tested a couple times on this. He's going to have to come up big for his team. Music took a turn, didn't it?
It did. So for those of you that were wondering why the camera looked a little bit different, we'll get there in a second. Pad save. In the first period, it was more because we were running in 1080. And the system doesn't want us to run at 30 frames per second, but 60 frames per second, and both of them wouldn't match up. So we're doing 720 at 30, and we got it. Really inside baseball technical. But we were originally trying to get you a better picture for your big screens at home. Back into the corner it goes. Kimlinger was there. Spun off into the corner on the play is O'Connell. As he looked up to Ness, he's going to now walk. We've seen the power play strike once. Fanned on that a bit. Now it's going to be Steves to play to center. That gets away from the legs of the defense. Now here's a nice play by Bonello because John Middlestat is dangerous. Keller now across the line. Ooh, just a tick offside. Just a bit outside.
Well, the tough part about that is the Wayzata Trojan forward really limited what was an odd man rush coming into the zone with some energy. So Keller had the puck, but it was just one of his line mates that just snuck in. But a little bit of a challenge at the blue line, forced that cut, forced the offside. Just 104 left to the penalty to Eden Prairie's Riku Brown. Pretty good kill so far by the Eagles.
Back up through center ice now on the puck. It's going to be controlled by Waggy, who plays that one rink wide. Mortensen is there. We'll push this one across the line. Stansberry. Pergandy as well. You start thinking about section seedings as the clock winds down, and where that's going to be another penalty coming up. This one will be on the Trojans in the offensive zone, not what you want on the power play.
Well, no, absolutely not a cross-checking penalty, but it was like the referee let Eden Prairie call that penalty. Once he went down, Eden Prairie looked at him, and then the arm went up. I don't have a problem with that.
Do you say he went Tin Man and needed some oil as it worked its way up?
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, but now we're down to 4-on-4 for another 36. Barring another penalty, Riku Brown gets released, and it's going to be a brief power play for Eden Prairie, but a lot of room out there for both these teams to move.
Door is open, and now headed to the bench is going to be...
looks like it's Lutke that's going to go to the box.
Yep.
Boy, he's a pretty prominent player on this Wayzata team.
One of the captains.
Very important face-off.
Face-off win. Steves to Luke Middlestat. Back door. Scores! Oh, there's your Chick-fil-A play of the game. That's a no-doubter there. What a feed. What a blast. 4-1 Eagles.
Well, and that's goal number 29 for Steves. A set play. It was just Middlestat. I believe it was Middlestat that just gained that puck. And he knew that Steves was over there. He did a bit of a regroup circle, had plenty of space, and just one-timed it into from a shallow angle into a wide-open goal. But that's a set play by Eden Prairie, executed perfectly. Now it's 4-1. We're still 4-on-4, but now it's 3 good shots by Wayzata that's already challenged to score goals at this point. So Wayzata's got to roll up their sleeves. They got some work to do, but they got to get on the board.
It's pretty rare. I mean, we don't see goal scorers of that capacity, but that is something else. I mean, that was impressive.
Well, they've earned every one of them tonight. You know, to Bonello's defense, there hasn't been a cheapie in the group, not a muddy one at all. They've all been earned, and they've all been clean. But Eden Prairie, when they can work the puck and make you defend that whole offensive zone, it's a difficult task to achieve, to have success.
Holt off the draw. Batchelder comes away with it. Up high, his shot was blocked. Nice job up high by Siemens to make the play.
We felt that one too.
10 seconds to go, then the Eagles go on the power play, looking to extend the 3-goal lead. It's their largest of the game so far. It's scoreless after 1. And then 2-1 after 2, and here we sit now for 3-1 after 2. Here we sit now at 4-1.
Well, this Trojan team averaging under 3 goals per game through the course of the year, 73 now total. So goal scoring has not been a premium for this team. They're certainly capable of scoring goals, but they're down by 3. And Eden Prairie's a pretty good front-running team, so Wayzata has to get to work here pretty quick.
They're going to talk about this one, about the timing of that icing call. Was Steves on the ice, or wasn't he on the ice? And do we have an icing call, or do we have to face it off somewhere else?
Well, as long as they get together as a committee and make the proper call, or what they believe and perceive as the proper call. This song is going to get stuck in my head for the rest of the night now.
Going to face it off at center ice on the mistake.
Okay.
The two officials talked that one over with the linesman, saying this is what I saw, and it was a bang-bang play for sure.
And
but, I mean, you know, that 50 feet can make a big difference.
Absolutely. 1:15 left on the penalty to Ludke.
Especially after the last EP goal you saw on the 4-on-4.
You're correct.
Here's Luke Middlestad now through center ice. Over for Blake. Gets away from one man. He's stood up on the play. Nice check by Schneider. Sent back into Eagle territory. 1 minute to go in the power play and 7:48 to go in the period. Luke Middlestad stopped on the play. Blake for Luke Middlestad. Now it's going to be Steves through center ice. He has speed across the line. Takes it wide. Puts on the brakes. John Middlestad. Backdoor Blake. Oh, he gathered it in right into the pads of Bonello. Nice feed there. Good opportunity.
Well, I like what Blake was thinking because the momentum of Bonello was taking him out of the play, but he reached back and grabbed that one. Nice save by the Wayzata goaltender.
No holes in that butterfly. It was perfect. Now John Middlestad's dangerous. Steves scores!
Oh.
Bar down. I mean, the guy's a talent. What more can you say? 5-1 Eagles here in the third period.
Well, it's a nice way to end his, or perhaps play his last regular season game here, but Steve's with a hat trick now, so that brings him to 30. That's a nice level for that young man to get to. He's earned every one of it, but look at how selfish Eden Prairie was on that play. They just kept moving it, and I think it was John Middlestad that put that offering out, and Steve just once again under the bar. But now it's 5-1, 7-19. The task gets a little bit more daunting for this Wayzata Trojan team. Still plenty of time, but things have to flow pretty much perfectly from this point forward.
Back and across the line they go. Langenbrunner with the body. Lots of time left here in the third period. We've just played 10 minutes of it with 7 to go.
Blake and Middlestad on the helpers.
Back from the corner now, the Eagles and the Trojans. Britton plays that to the boards. It's Mortensen has his team's goal on the 5-on-3. Played off the boards again. Mortensen chips that down the wall. He's jammed on the play by Hartle. And they'll get the goaltender Bonello off. Power play again. Backdoor opportunity. That for Keller.
Boy, you have to feel for Hartle. First shift, a little energy, a little wanting to make something happen and contribute. But just got the gloves, got a little aggressive on that one right in front of the referee, so he's going to make his way to the penalty box. It's kind of do or die right now for this Wayzata Trojan team as far as being in this game. They're down by 4, but they get a 2-minute power play, barring another injury, so a good opportunity to at least cut the lead from this point, but Eden Prairie been very stingy on the penalty kill to this point.
Batchelder in off the draw now with O'Connell. Ness, there's a shot. Hard in on goal from Keller. Rosalind tried to gather that thing in. Now it's back in behind. That's off Holt's stick. Ness plays over for O'Connell. Back up for Ness. Now it's Keller. Ness, the big slapper. Nice blocker pad save. Axel Rosalind dialed in here on senior day for the Eagles.
And look where he put that rebound too, right in the corner.
Got it out of there. Now they'll play this off the boards. And they're going to have a man in the crease, I think. Oh, a penalty.
Yeah, it looks like coincidental. It's going to be Batchelder and Kimlinger. Boy, that doesn't serve Wayzata Trojans as well to put Kimlinger in the box. Batchelder, as much as he is skilled and he contributes to his team, they don't need goals right now, but Wayzata needs Kimlinger on the ice, so a bit of a break for this Eden Prairie Eagle team.
It remains 5-on-4. Bonello sets up to his left as it's going to be Keller behind the net. He's forced by Stansberry. That pass is deflected. Nice job by Pergandy up front. Ness will come away with it as he plays back into the corner.
That's how you get an almost 90% penalty kill.
Pergandy and Keller come together briefly. Ness to the left wing for Keller, strong on the puck across the line. He's going to be poke checked by Casey, who stayed on that one. That's going to be Pergandy, who got a hand on that one. He's going to come to the near side with Ness angling him. Oh, in front, Stansberry. Oh, what a save made there. What a feed by Pergandy to Stansberry on the shorty.
And what a save that was by Bonello again.
Boy, don't underestimate that one. Kick back up into the center ice area. Boy, you look at the section 2AA with Prior Lake and Eden Prairie. I know Prior Lake has the win back over the holiday season, but man, how do you not seed this Eden Prairie team number one? Over the long term of what
Pete, I don't disagree with you.
Does it, does the best team get seeded one, and not saying anything against Prior Lake, or does the best record?
Well, it's just regardless, you got to win the games regardless of where they put you.
There's a shot that's deflected, goal mouth area, slung down the ice by the Eagles. 4 to go in the power play as they open the door, and set to step on for the Eagles was Hartle. Long pass ahead, that's on the stick of Podiak. In front of the bench area, Blake. So smart, gets out of trouble. If he goes the other way, he's going to have a separated shoulder. Stays on the puck. Now in front of the net area it goes. Back off the end boards. That's going to be Lewis. Now they play this to the right wing side. Steves takes the feed from Blake back up through center. Ness tries to bulldoze him down as they make a fine defensive play there to the Trojans, and now it's going to be Lewis up the left wing side. He's got Davison with him across the line and a trailer. And that in Getz back in behind. Now Davison with it. Finds Lewis. Guides this to an open wing. And into the Wayzata zone it goes. 3:42 to go here in the third.
I love how quiet Axel Rosenlund's game is today. He's just doing what he needs to do. Efficiency and movement, good regroups, but he looks very focused and very calm in net, and that's a good sign for Lee Smith and the Eagles.
We've done a majority of the Eagles games this year on the MN Hockey TV, and this is the best I've seen him play. And Eli Andrews was really good on Tuesday against the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights.
A wealth of riches.
Hartle plays this one up to the left wing side. Shepard with it. He's going to be stick checked at the line, stays on it. Checked on the play by Davison as he came in. Off the end boards it goes. Jorgensen, Casey will have to reach. Nice job to keep. Jorgensen deflects back in behind for Shepard. They leave this one in the corner. Jorgensen gets inside on his man on Peters. This line's fresh for the Eagles. Haven't seen much ice time here tonight, and they look like it with bounce in the forecheck.
Yeah, they got some energy.
That's off the boards and back into Eden Prairie territory with 2:45 to go in the third period. This game was deeply in doubt after the first period and even after the second, but the Eagles have cinched in here in the third.
Well, and that's just it against this Eagle team. You have to play the full 51 minutes. It's been good effort by this Trojan team, but it's just the Eagles working the puck and making efficient passes. West Metro is leaving the building, so he must think
going
it's
to get
over.
A season ticket at Braemar Arena. By the way, we'll be flying over there with our gear setting up for the Hornets and the Minnetonka Skippers. Always a special night to close out our regular season coverage at the MNHockey.tv. We did thousands of games for you this year. Batchelder, wrister, that's blocker pad turned aside. Actually, we did if you include the youth streams. That one's in the corner. Off the boards, Britton is there. Becoming your number one high school and youth hockey video alternative and source and original since 2006 with different names and different versions from MyFox Hockey now to this. Langfell's with it. Up to the left wing side for Batchelder as he comes away with it behind the net. Spun off the puck by Streeter under 2 minutes now with 1:47 to go. Now Brown takes it on the off wing. Wanted to go through the legs, in on goal. That's turned aside by Bonello. There's Holt. Puts on the brakes as he's watched on the play by Lindahl. To the near boards, Busby. Now Hartle in the corner. Mortensen with it. And the Trojans, Sauer will take this one. In front of the bench area out. There's a dangerous hit there by Jorgensen, and he's going to get, let's see what they give him here.
Well, I think it looked a lot worse than it really was, but if you're if you're in this situation, you really want to stay out of the box to a certain degree. Just finish the game nice and clean. Just 1:20 left on the clock. But I don't think it was that malicious. But again, it was a situation where the referee really had to call it. So 2 minutes in the box for Eden Prairie. Power play for the Wayzata Trojans. Maybe they can put a marker on the board and cut the lead. At least perception-wise, it might give them some good feels before they leave.
He held up at the very last second.
Yep, I agree.
Because it could have been a lot more dangerous there. Now it's going to be Ness with it. Big slapper. Oh, that hit a man in front. That had to hurt. That was Sauer saying, can you keep it a little lower or at least get it to like my side so I can get the stick on. Another penalty coming up. This one on Busby.
Well, not the way you want to finish a really sound game.
You know, Bart, if you get the playoff time right now, you've got the 5-1 lead. You've given the Wayzata Trojans a 5-on-3. You aren't going to win a lot of hockey games with a steady parade to the penalty box. No. And they're going to need to get that in order. They can't be taking penalties. I mean, I'm saying if I want to win a chip, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, absolutely, and it's not going to get any easier from really this point forward. You're going to get every team's best game from this point, but emotional discipline sometimes can be a deciding factor in games that have some magnitude to them.
Langfels chips it hard off the glass and out of the zone. Kept it in play. Nice play there. We're under a minute now to 47 seconds to go. Trojans play this left wing side. Here they come across the line with O'Connell. And that one's steered up and out of play.
Well, that was a good stick by either Casey or Langfels, but they were coming in. It was O'Connell that came in, kind of cut toward the middle to get a better angle on that, but then that's when the two Eden Prairie six got in his way. But pretty good speed by O'Connell coming in. Pretty good look, but better defense by Eden Prairie, being 2 men down.
Back into the top of the blue line it goes. Ness plays to the corner. Quick slapper, scores! A feed from the corner as Ness buries 2 5-on-3 power play goals for the Trojans. They trail by 3 with 28 seconds left here in this hockey game.
Well, that's number 5 for Ness, number 3 on the power play, but that's why you want to stay out of the box, protect your goaltender. Now it looks 2 goals against Axel Rosalind, who's turned in a fine performance, but again, Wayzata at least get some positive. They've been working awful hard this afternoon and finally get something to celebrate, but now it's 5-2, just 28 seconds left. But Ness has had a good showing today, but for Tucker Ness, that's goal number 5.
Tucker Ness with the goal, back in behind. Now it's a 5-on-4 as Casey will ring that one down the ice. Set up by Bonello. Mortensen now with 10 seconds to the left wing side. Now Keller lays that one across for O'Connell. He looks toward the slot area, but that's knocked away by Casey. Mortensen gloves it down, and that's going to do it. As the Eden Prairie Eagles decisive in their 5-2 win over the Wayzata Trojans. It was an impressive run here for the Eagles, Bart. When you look at after they lost to Minnetonka by a score of 3-1, 6-2 over Minnetonka, 6-2 over STMA, and now 5-2 over this Wayzata Trojan team. That's a 17-6 margin. Quite impressive.
Well, and that's, you want to be playing your best hockey at this time of year, and it looks like Eden Prairie's firing on all cylinders. And it's not just the Middlestat line. Then you drop down to the Riku Brown line. Then you get Pergande. So they can come at you with 3 or 4 different lines with some energy. But their defense is solid. Their goaltending's been very, very good. So Eden Prairie is poised. I think they might be their own worst enemy, but it'll be exciting to see where they're seated. But this Eden Prairie team's going to be a tough one to contend with from this point forward.
We tear down, head over to Braemar Arena. Join us there for a 7 o'clock face-off where it's going to be the Edina Hornets and Minnetonka Skippers. Throw the records out. It's always a classic when those two teams square off. A big crowd for sure. For Todd Grover and David Hillen, Bart Archer, I'm Pete Wagner. So long, everybody.